David was the last one that we have up. Hey folks, we're live here on the air, just peering from the background. I'm gonna go sit over here. He's over there. Our guest was a no-show today, so we're gonna stream behind the scenes. This is what we do. The time is 9 o'clock, and you're listening to 106.1 FM Portsmouth Community Radio, WSCA, Portsmouth Community Radio. It's 9 o'clock, and here's a weather report. Whether you like it or not. Today will be sunny with a high near 75, northwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Tonight will be mostly clear with a low around 50, northwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday will be sunny with a high near 74, northwest wind around 5 miles per hour becoming south in the afternoon. Wednesday night mostly clear with a low around 53, south wind around 5 miles per hour becoming calm in the evening. Thursday will be sunny with a high near 79, calm wind becoming south around 5 miles per hour in the afternoon. Thursday night mostly clear, low around 57. Friday sunny with a high near 82. We're going to get that September temperatures that I love so much. Friday night mostly clear with a low around 59. Saturday sunny, high 79. Great day to get married. I'm actually going to a wedding on Saturday.
A wedding this Saturday?
This Saturday.
A nice fall wedding.
Beautiful. Is it fall? It is fall. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to bring a sweater.
For all intents and purposes.
Intense.
Is that the proper term? Is it intents and purposes or intensive purposes?
I would have thought it's nicer to think that it would be intensive purposes, but it's intense, like what you intend
what you
on.
intend.
Yes.
Yeah. For all intents
and purposes.
And you have to include the purposes.
And purposes.
Because what is your intent without purpose?
Yeah.
Honestly, Phil.
What is my intent? I don't have any purpose if I don't have an intent.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Saturday will be a high near 79. I said that. Saturday night will be mostly clear with low around 57 and sunny on Sunday with a high near 76. Yeah. Something off the community calendar. We're going to talk a lot about community calendar items today because our guest was a no-show. So 11th Summer's Worth
come up.
They do.
Yes.
Emergencies happen, and that's fine. No shame here. The 11th Somersworth Indonesian Festival, Somersworth Memorial High School, 11 Memorial Drive, Somersworth, New Hampshire, Saturday, September 14th, 2024, 12 noon to 4 p.m. The 11th Somersworth Indonesian Festival will take place on Saturday, September 14th, from 12 noon to 4 p.m. at the Somersworth High School in Somersworth, New Hampshire. The festival is a community celebration like no other, featuring a diverse range of activities for everyone to enjoy. Immerse yourself in captivating cultural, musical performances, witness mesmerizing traditional dance displays, and experience the beauty of Indonesia through cultural cinematic tourism features showcasing the stunning Indonesian archipelago. Indulge in mouth-watering traditional and street food offerings from vendors. Discover business and community resources too. More information can be found in the fairs and festivals calendar listings at portsmouthnh.com. I actually saw Matt Canner on Sunday. Today's Tuesday.
Former guest of
ours. Also portsmouthnh.com. Helmer, if you will.
Helmer?
He is at the helm. If Portsmouth NH was a boat.
Helmsman.
That's it. Helmsman. But I wanted to. I didn't want to make it gender specific. Helmer?
Sure.
Helmist?
Yeah. If you must.
I must. Sometimes I must. So Dan, I've got. Oh wait, sorry. Wait. Nope, that's not it. That's not it at all. Ladies and gentlemen, on Tuesdays, you know what happens. This is Round the Square, a weekly community talk show with your host, Dan Freund. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Freund.
Hey, I'm Dan Freund. Welcome back for another week. You know, Phil and I were hanging out around the square this morning as we discussed what to do this morning.
Yeah, that's
as
true.
We don't have a guest. Our guest, something came up. Is unable to join us today.
And that is okay, Dan, because we have a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to talk about.
My daughter had her first week at high school and she did amazing.
That's fantastic.
So proud of her. She swung away and does awesome at everything that she did while she was there last week.
My son started at the middle school. Although he's been there for now 2 weeks. This will be his first full week there.
Yeah.
My daughter's in 5th grade.
Does he enjoy the middle school?
He won't say that he enjoys it, but he does. When I asked how his day was, he does say good, which is something that he had never said over the last 6 years, all the way through elementary school. Not once do I think I ever heard him say that it was good.
Do you think it's just the amount of stimulation? I feel like a lot of what Marilyn is excited about is the fact that there's so much going on all at once.
I don't know. I don't know what the environment is like there, honestly, but he seems to be doing great, and I'm really excited about that.
Cool about it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And he is walking to his grandmother's house because she lives right around the corner from the middle school. So it's a great experience for him. A lot of autonomy.
That's cool. That's cool. And separation from you as well, right?
Yeah. Well, not abnormally, but
no. I mean, I feel like the older the children get, the further away from the parent they become. You know, mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, like because they're relying and learning how to experience other people.
Right.
You keep them in a tight circle for as long as you can, and then they have to expand their circle. I'm fascinated by watching Marilyn do that. That's one thing that I'm really excited about to watch during her high school career.
And so, how has that transition to high school been?
Great. Great. I feel like so far she knows how to get around high school and hasn't come home, with any kind of negativity or any kind of bad things to say about high school.
Well, that's great.
It's all positive.
Yeah.
Speaking of all positives, today is Tuesday, and you know what that means, Dan?
That it's round the square?
It is, but it also
we already said that.
We said that. It's the New Hampshire State Primary is today. This is a timely show. Dan, are you going to go vote for the New Hampshire primaryers?
I am.
Primatists?
The candidates?
Candidates, that's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
I will go and vote over at my polling station.
Where is your polling station?
Polling station is also my daughter's school.
Oh, that's nice. And that must be so easy for you because you get to pick her up from school and vote at the same time?
No, there's no school today.
Oh, they canceled school on primary day?
They canceled school for today.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I guess this isn't the first full week of school.
No, I guess it's not. There's lots of wards around, but if you're in the town of Portsmouth, Ward 1, which is the new Franklin School. Is that you?
That's us, yes.
Okay, Ward 2 is the middle school at Parrot Ave. Ward 3 is the Senior Activity Center at Cottage Street. Ward 4 is Don Darrow School, and Ward 5 is the Little Harbor School. Know your polling stations, people. Portsmouth is a confusing town because a lot of wards. I get it.
There are several, not as many as some towns, like the town I grew up in. There must be, I don't know how many.
Dozens.
Yes.
There must be dozens.
There must be dozens.
And do you know any of the candidates? Do you have any stances on any of the candidates, Dan? Do you want to get political at all today?
I have not been up on all the candidates, but we'll do some last minute research there at the end and take a general polling from friends and
Let me turn on that.
acquaintances and see where the winds are taking me.
Okay. I just tried to turn on the text thing to see if people are texting in, and it seems like it's not performing, Dan. But also, Telluride by the Sea. Are you excited to see some movies here in your hometown?
I am always excited to see some new films.
Yeah. Do you have any on your list for this year
Uh,
so far?
No. On my list is to attend at least one.
It is celebrating its 25th season. That's silver, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what? So my wife pointed out that our 2-year anniversary is coming up. Our wedding anniversary.
So what is that?
I don't know.
What
That's
is
what
significant for the second anniversary?
I am looking that up right now. It says second anniversary looks like what? Vinyl cloth. Traditional anniversary has
Vinyl cloth?
No. Cotton. If you look here, I thought it might have been vinyl, like a record,
Yeah.
or cloth, but I was close. It's cotton.
So
Traditional
you have to give
anniversary,
some cotton.
known for its softness, resilience, and versatility, it symbolizes the comfort and strength integral to a thriving marriage. And I would definitely say my marriage is thriving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ran into your wife the other evening.
Were you running?
No, I was not. I was actually just getting up from speaking to some locals.
Let's talk about those
out
local
around the
icons.
square.
You were around the square. You were not only were you sitting outdoors at the press room at 77 Daniel Street, correct?
Well, we were on the Von Solen side of the ribbon there.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's understandable. And let's talk about at least one person you were sitting with was a Grand Marshal of the Portsmouth Halloween Parade, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And at
And
least
the other often is seen dressed up as a kitty.
that's
a kitty cat.
A kitty cat. And one person that you sat with also may or may not be starting a little Portsmouth dynasty, if you will.
No, I wasn't sitting with anyone that's starting a dynasty.
Oh, okay, cool. But
It
you were
was just
sitting in
these two
vicinity of
individuals
2
in
people?
the vicinity, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one else was out there on the street. So, anyway.
But my wife was there. So she was there also.
Your wife passed by as I was getting up to leave, yes.
Cool, buddy. So we can talk about those people now.
Yeah, Bruce Pingree
Yeah.
and Shane Kevin, we ran into them.
I thought earlier you said Shane, Kevin, Bruce. So I actually thought it was Kevin Dwyer, which is why I was actually
No, it was just two
making the
individuals
dynasty
there.
reference. Now I feel like a fool.
And that's wouldn't be
Not
the first
often,
time.
very consistently.
Yes, but demask it very well.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I am the self-appointed Portsmouth jester. So,
Is that right?
no, that's not true.
Self-appointed Portsmouth jester.
When the McIntyre building first closed down, everybody on the unofficial Portsmouth Facebook page said, "What would you do with the McIntyre?" Or like, "What do you see for the future?" And I had said, "It's 25 years in the future. The McIntyre is this artist commune, and basically my job would be to entertain and make people happy. Like I would just walk around town, not necessarily with the hat with the bells." But like my job would be just to walk around, maybe with a guitar, maybe with something. Like my day would be filled with giving people smiles.
That's a great occupation.
Right? I thought that would have been a great for me specifically. Like what else would I do but like wake up and make myself happy to make other people happy? That's what I love doing.
That's bring a smile to somebody's face.
So
as my father would say, be a blessing.
I'm trying to be. Sometimes I'm a curse. But you know, I'm pretty self-aware of who I am and what it is that I'm able to do and be for people like you, Dan.
Yes, people like me.
See what I did there? I used
I see what you did
the
there.
vocal jam of the German and the Jew to symbolize what I am to you and what you are to me. I mean, I even talked about it when we were sitting around the square this morning. We talked about how some of your best friends can be the free therapist that you don't want to pay for.
You know, being able to confide in certain people, this is something that I have been wrestling with over recent weeks. You know, for those of you at home, you may not know, I am a real estate agent here in Portsmouth. And
you can check them out on all of the socials at My Friend Dan.
That's right. You know, I've got a couple stories coming off this. One,
yeah,
I got a call from a high school friend. Shout out to John Estrada down in Norwalk, Connecticut. John called me up the other day because he's been watching me on my reels, on my YouTube shorts, on my TikToks. Incidentally, you can find me as My Friend Dan on all those social networks.
All of them.
All of them. MyFriendDan.com. And John called me up and he said, well, you know, keep doing what you're doing because it's working. You have the personality, you have the delivery that people want. People want to work with you. And if they don't want to work with you, then you probably don't want to work with them. That's one encapsulated story. But going back a bit further, as I was getting into real estate, someone said to me, you know, keep your head on a swivel because you're never actually in real estate until you get screwed over by someone you trust.
Wow, that is a terrible, terrible selling point for the real estate industry, Dan.
You know, but
you haven't arrived until you've actually lost.
Hey, you know,
I mean, I get it.
It's
like
an important lesson.
It is.
And dealing with difficult personalities, learning how to deal with difficult personalities, coming back to who are your friends and who can you trust and what is the caliber of your friendships? Are they superficial friendships where people are just bellwether around when you're at your best and having a good time? Or are they there when you need a bit of a pick-me-up or you need someone who can give you the perspective you need, not necessarily the perspective you want?
Ah, that's true. You have definitely always been my sounding board, and as well, not necessarily what I want to hear sometimes.
And likewise, you to me, and we've had a lot of strain between us.
Yeah.
Me working through my own personal stuff, trying to get my head right around creating, being creative, collaborating, pushing content out that is of a caliber that I want to project, and finding the balance. This radio show is a really great way for us to do that. And
others can do it too. We're not the only ones who are doing it. You can go to WSCAFM.org if you're interested in putting on your own show. And it's also the 20th anniversary week. This week at WSCA is huge. We've been on the air for 20 years, Dan. What does that mean to you? What were you doing 20 years ago?
20 years ago. You know, I was just thinking about this just the other night when I was sitting round the square with Bruce and Shane. Because I was thinking back to, we were talking about how Bruce was introduced to the community. As a young child, had cousins here and would visit. And then going back to my time frame of when I first started spending time down here, and what the community was like. And from what I recollect, I was here in 2002. I think I first started
years ago.
Started spending
almost
time
20
here.
Years ago.
Yeah, that's over 20 years ago.
I know.
But so I heard of this radio station getting started, and it's taken me a long time to get involved here.
Yeah.
Nearly 20 years.
Nearly. And I think you have a bright future here, Dan.
Well, if you could see what the studio is looking like, and if you've been paying attention to what has been happening here. I was surprised this morning walking in because
Right?
there has been so much work. The volunteers have been so active here. The studio is looking really great, really bold colors, strong bold colors here. Some new windows with, I would imagine, soundproofing, and the studio is just looking really good.
I would imagine that's just a paint job. No, just kidding. Yeah, no, the place looks awesome, and we can actually give a teaser right now, Dan. Round the Square will be producing a show here on the Button Factory stage in the future. A show here, an actual live event.
Do you
where
know
we,
these producers?
I know you, and I know me, and I know Ben Folstein of
I'm
the Weird
producing
People
something?
Show. You are producing some content as well as content capturing of this event. Dan will also be at the helm of the live stream, so we're gonna need people. We're gonna need performers. We're gonna need craft and artisans to show off their wares. It is gonna be a collaboration of Round the Square and the Weird People Show. And Dan and I will be doing a musical challenge where we might call it UP versus AI, where it might be Uncle Phil versus the GPT chat songwriting apps that we've been looking at. So what we'll do is we'll take suggestions from the audience, and I will perform a song live in the studio, whether or not I have guest performers next to me or with me, or whether I have just a computer and some beats or whatever. I will have like less time than the AI has, because I'll play my song and then we'll listen to the AI song, see how they're different. I'll be able to obviously analyze my performance, but the people in the audience will be the voters to see whether or not who wins. It's an actual contest.
It is the challenge is stacked.
Yes, because if I lose, then I guess I can never write another song as long as I live.
No, I wouldn't say that, because
I'm not in the songwriting game, Dan. If the AI puts me down, I'm obsolete. I might as well just go out to pasture. Might as well just go hang out in a field, eat some
There are a lot of people going through that existential crisis.
Well, AI is
because
slippery slope, man.
The AI is creating, as you said the other week, radio quality music in seconds.
Yeah.
You feed it a couple of lines, you feed it a topic, write me a hit country song about buying a home.
Yeah, and it worked. I was disturbed as to how, when you said that and you put it in the computer and it came back with something that I probably would have done almost exactly close to what it was. You know, my lyrics might have been a little more risque and quirky and like Phil. I would have put my spin on it. And that's what I'm hoping sways the audience when we do our challenge.
Yeah. Well, there is no substitute for you. And the thing that, for those of you listening out there, what you may not know is that both Phil and I have been in this creative mode where we like to involve people in the creation process. For me, I love involving people in the process of creating video, and Phil has involved people in the process of creating music. And so walking through all of those steps and seeing what it takes to create a piece of music. For instance, he'll call out, give me a number 90 to 120, and he'll set the beats per minute. Give me a letter A, B, C, D, and he'll pick a key. And then he'll draw ideas for lyrics from the crowd. And when you're a part of the creative process like that, it may not be the most polished, finished piece, but you've gone through the process. And same for me when you're creating video. Going through that process and seeing it from beginning to end, it does something. It changes your perspective on what goes into creating music or creating a video. And you can then take that and start to refine that process, refine the steps, and then once you master the steps, you can then master the performance.
But I also want to talk about the fact that like none of it would happen unless you had those X variables. Like we can make content by ourselves for hours on end. I can sit and write song after song after song and create stuff, but it's all just from me. Like I with the input and the feedback and the vibe and the energy in a room with people shouting things and being a part of it changes whatever would come out. And I feel like your video content also is not necessarily just of you and of the houses that you're representing. It's a vibe that you're putting out there. It's you as the viewer, you want to be a part of your video. So if you have a house, you'd be like, I want Dan to come over and do my house sale video because he's so animated and he'd be awesome, and then he'd feature me and I'd be able to be a part of it. And you would show them how easy it is to do the things that you do. And be the person that you are. Look, it's Paul Gilson, everybody.
Paul Gilson.
Paul Gilson.
We got plywood.
There's plywood. There's definitely plywood. Paul, do you want to be the guest on the guest that we don't have show?
Sure.
Cool. I have 2 open mics. You can choose which one you choose to be on. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Gilson is on the show. He's here. And
I'm going to step up and just adjust the live stream for those of you watching at home.
Oh, you want me to move to this one?
oh yeah,
I can.
whichever one you want, man. It's fine. Paul Gilson is a fixture here. He's now all. It seems like he's always here when we do a show, and I feel like since like some of the people around here are changing, and there's faces that are changing, and people who are here and who are going, and people always come and go as volunteers and as people who work here. So it's
You know why I
Paul,
come in,
Paul
right?
what can you tell us about the
Paul-
changes happening here?
No, but you know why I come in when you're on the air.
well because
Because you have cool guests.
Because we
Wow.
sometimes have cool guests,
Yeah.
and
No,
now that
seriously.
you're a guest again, a nice repeater. I feel like so far we've definitely found a bevy of guests so far that have been. If you put them all in a room together, it would be a great conversation. Who haven't you seen that you want to see as a guest on the Square? Because you do come in and you watch our
Yeah,
show.
you're really putting me on the spot there. I loved the dog last week, by the way.
Oh,
yeah.
Mason the
What's
Comfort Dog. Mason the
Rochelle,
Comfort
Nate-
Dog, and her name was Rochelle Jones.
Rochelle
Jones, I know
Jones.
Rochelle.
Detective Rochelle.
Yeah, yeah. And she stayed for a long time afterwards.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
great.
Only
wonderful.
because I wouldn't let the dog go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I had
Uh-huh.
it trapped outside.
Do you have a dog at home?
Used to.
Okay, so that's I understand that Mason is a comfort dog and can fill the void, so to speak.
Yeah, fill the void.
Yeah.
So you want to know what's happening to the studio out there?
Yes, I
It
do.
looks all black and goth, doesn't
It a little bit, but I like the stripes that give it almost a futuristic subway station vibe.
I've got to give a shout out to Nicole and Shannon. They've basically done that, all of it, all
Yep.
the painting. And Rob did the doors as well. And there's been some other people involved. But basically the idea is we've been holding off on spending money for the longest time because we were barely scraping by. I mean, trust me, if there's any listeners out there who want to send us money, we will gladly accept. Please donate. But there was
Click
a
at the donate now button at WSCAFM.org right now, actually.
I should be better at that.
Yeah.
But we finally got enough money that we can actually stick our head above water and actually improve the space a little bit. We're also lucky enough to get the grant from AARP. We're meant to make the space, we are going to make the space more accessible.
And what's her name? She will. We have a guest next week.
She
coming in
cancelled
from
on you a little bit while
AARP.
ago. She couldn't make it before, right? Is that the same?
That's correct. And I'm spacing her name. Are you?
It's
Yeah.
Ashley from the.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
wait.
you go.
It's a
That's
little teaser. Yeah.
a little teaser
Yeah, a little
about
teaser.
our theme song for next week. But yeah, Ashley
You have to
will
tune
be-
in to hear the whole thing.
And so they gave us money to make this space more accessible for everybody in the community. So while we're doing that, we thought we'd give it a facelift as well. And it's pretty
Well, it
simple.
looks really great, and the colors look really great. And for those of you
Oh
that
wow! I
are,
hadn't even seen behind you.
oh yeah,
Right?
Oh my word!
it's only the biggest, brightest wall as you walk in.
As you
I
walk
know,
in,
I
it's
meant to
purple
see this
and
one.
blue. Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful in here. It looks it's a little more profesh. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I mean, the ladder being out definitely doesn't give it that professional vibe. But so, Paul, aside from just coming here to watch us be buffoons, what do you do here?
I am the bookkeeper.
Yeah.
The bookkeeper.
The
You
bookkeeper.
like finances?
I count things.
Yeah.
I've never watched your Sesame Street programs, but Count Dracula. something like
Yes.
that. Count 1, 2. How does it go? I can't even
kinda
do
like,
it.
what?
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Count Chocula. Count Dracula.
No, he's just the Count.
The Count. Sorry.
Yes, you're making multiple references all over the place. That's okay. You've never watched it.
No.
What was the kiddie show growing up for you?
Oh, you want to know when I was a kid
Yes.
with the 3 channels on TV
Yeah.
with nothing on?
The
BBC One, BBC Two, BBC Three.
No, ITV.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, Channel 4 didn't exist in those days. We were only allowed 3 channels.
Allowed. It was
Allowed.
government controlled.
Yeah, you had to pay your fee. You're allowed 3 channels.
Of course.
Yeah, they used to drive around in trucks trying to find people who hadn't paid their fees. They used to triangulate and things.
The TV
Scared
trucks,
everybody.
the
Yeah.
TV tax trucks.
Yeah. So anyway, sick home from school, you would never literally guess the 3 American shows I know the best.
I'm gonna say, and you grew up
All in the family.
70s and 80s, right?
And I'm
guessing
blanking one of them right now, which
Okay.
is the obvious one, but I can think
The
of
Jeffersons. No. Was it a sitcom
Starsky
or
and
was
Hutch.
it a?
Starsky and Hutch.
Oh,
You got it.
nice, nice.
Can
Oh.
you imagine how weird Starsky and Hutch was for a kid in London
Yeah.
to watch?
To
How,
watch.
like, literally made no sense. No sense whatsoever.
And the aside from the language.
Yeah, apart from that.
Yeah.
Second one, Columbo.
Oh, nice.
Love me some Columbo.
Nice. Peter
I still-
Falk, genius.
Yeah, I still
Of
have a tough time if Columbo's on TV. I almost have to watch it.
Yeah.
Almost.
Okay.
Almost.
Is there an actor modern day that you would see cast as the reboot of Columbo?
You're in the way wrong area.
Oh, okay, right on. Pop culture is okay, right on. I think I would probably put somebody. I mean, like Rob Morrow, like the guy who was on Quiz Show. I feel like would do a great job. You know, Zach Galifianakis would be hilarious.
I'm trying to remember what the third thing was. We had this crazy, weird show called
Streets of San Francisco.
Nah,
That
well,
one?
I know that
Yeah,
one.
right.
And that strange New York one, Hill City Blues.
Hill Street Blues.
Hill Street Blues.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I used to be able to play that on the piano, actually.
That's
The
good.
theme song. Bling, bling, bling.
But that's
Boom,
about the
boom.
limit of it. We used to have a strange show called The Banana Splits.
Oh yeah, I love the banana splits. 1 banana, 2 banana, 3 banana, 4.
Yeah.
Over hills and highways, the banana buggies go.
Scooby-Doo as well.
Can you name the 4 banana splits?
Rico, someone, and Flop or something.
Rupert and Snort.
Snort, that's it. I was trying to rhyme it in my head.
Yeah, I always loved the sour grapes segment on that because it reminded me of the Fruit of the Looms commercials, which had the live fruit that popped out of your underpants, which I never really understood at all how that could work, or how somebody said, "Hey, I got a great idea for a TV commercial. They're making life-size, human-sized fruit to pop out of underpants." Yeah, no.
So as a boy,
Yeah.
sick home from school,
Yeah.
very confused.
Yeah, very confused. I could see that.
Yeah, especially Starsky and Hutch.
And that's what drove you to accounting because it's so finite.
No, that was a very, very different story. But did you know that, which one's the dark-haired one, Starsky or Hutch? Oh, I can never remember.
Starsky was the dark-haired one. Hutch was the blonde.
What famous movie was he in?
The soccer one. With Sylvester
Yes, he
Stallone?
was actually. He was.
Right?
Yeah, but that's not the one.
Okay. David Soul. He's actually from my
No, not
hometown.
David Soul, the
Oh, the other one. Oh, the dark-haired one. He was in the reboot of Starsky and Hutch. I knew that.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Right.
He's the political guy who comes and takes away one of the daughters.
And me being the token Jew, I'm supposed to know that, aren't I, Ben? Yeah. Thanks, Paul.
Yes.
Thanks for making me look so unlegit
If
right
I
now.
were a rich man.
Yeah, I know that one, and I know Tevye was the guy on the roof. I know his name was the Fiddler. I remember that part. Thanks, Paul.
So, a bit of local real estate news, property values.
Well, hold on, man. You gotta say it's
In,
time for the real estate report. And you gotta do
this isn't that. This is
Oh.
reading a headline. So,
So you need this one.
Nope,
No. This one?
that's we haven't gotten to that point.
This
You're
one?
messing up my
This one?
reciting of the headline.
I'm watching
Property
the sausage being
values
made here,
in
people.
Portsmouth have surged recently. And I attended an event just last week over at City Hall. They were talking about the new assessments that have just recently come out. And Paul, do you live here in Portsmouth? So you are affected by this. Property values in
Just
Portsmouth
moved here.
have surged, with the median single-family home now valued at over $762,000. That's up from $750,000 estimated just a month ago, and up from $482,000 earlier this year. The city assessor, Roseanne Lentz, reported that manufactured homes saw an 85% increase, condos rose by 61.9%, and single-family homes jumped by nearly 61%, 60.7%. Commercial properties are also on the rise, with apartments increasing by 65%. Revaluation work is ongoing, and residents will receive an updated assessment by mid-September. So in just a week, we are nearly there to mid-September, with options to challenge your valuation. And you should make an appointment, go into the city assessor's office and talk about your options, because from my own personal experience, I remember the first time that I went through a revaluation, I was shocked at how high my valuation went. And I went in and spoke to them because I happen to live within the odor ring of a truck stop, and so I hear the trucks and I smell the trucks often, and that affects property values. So at any rate, those are coming out, and if you are living here in Portsmouth, be sure to schedule that appointment with the city assessor.
Because that's important to know. You don't want to be surprised.
Well, you have options, and the squeaky wheel gets the oil, so you have to go in there and make yourself heard.
How much are they estimating the average property tax bill is going to go up?
They have not assessed that because they haven't set the tax rate. So they're
It
waiting
varies
until
per
the
property?
valuations come in, and then they're going to set the tax rate.
Got it.
So the tax rate will likely come down, but I mean, taxes are going up.
But their budget is fairly balanced. City of Portsmouth is.
But they just added how many new positions
Oh,
to
that's true.
the roster?
Yeah.
So there is a lot of spending going on, and there are a lot of programs, and it seems everywhere you turn there is a road torn up.
I live on one of those.
I would love for one of those roads to complete before they take down another bridge.
There was a truck stuck under the railroad bridge next door. Did you see?
Just recently?
No, like an hour ago.
Oh,
in the
no
studio.
kidding. Oh, great. Yeah.
So
because
you're not getting home.
they don't know how to get downtown now.
No, I actually got up this morning and found my truck surrounded by orange cones.
So you couldn't actually pull out your driveway?
Well,
Or your-
it was my driver's on the street, but I could pull out. That's on Islington outside kitchen. But I'm guessing they're digging it up again. I thought they just finished digging it up, but
Are they maybe doing the sidewalks again?
I don't know. The
Because we need
lamps,
more cobblestones?
the lamps are beautiful.
Oh, they are?
Oh, beautiful.
They're delicious.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm so glad they did that. And
So that you can see your way home now?
yes, when I'm walking home from the station,
Yes.
it's delightful.
Yeah, that's a nice walk. You walk right through the best end of the West End.
Best end of the West End. You know the animal you see it most after shows walking home?
Is Paul.
Oh, rabbits.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
jackrabbits.
There are
Yeah, all
rabbits
over the
everywhere. And so in the 15 years that, 22 years that I've been
22?
living here in Portsmouth.
Double
I was
digits.
just doing the
It's double digits.
Just doing the dates the other night, talking to some locals around the square, incidentally. And I don't remember there being so many rabbits as in the last 3 to 4 years.
Nope.
It's like they're
It's like
multiplying
they
like
came out
rabbits.
in COVID because
Nobody else was.
Right, and then they just haven't gone away, and there hasn't been a predator to take down those numbers, but they are everywhere.
Yeah.
So actually, walking home from the station, it feels like being back in London. It's
Because of
kind
the rabbits?
Yes, the rabbits and the foxes. You get the foxes out.
Oh,
I'd rather rabbits than rats.
Yes. Oh, I'd rather this town be overrun by by rabbits than rats.
I was just down in Boston, and we were looking up an alleyway. My girlfriend and I looking up an alleyway, and she spotted something up the alleyway. I didn't see it, but I did see the city rat dead on the ground.
Lovely.
That's
Oh well, that is Boston.
that sure is
North
Boston for you.
So yeah, I was traumatized by Starsky and Hutch, and that's why I became a bookkeeper, just to square that particular circle.
Starsky and Hutch
That's what
drove
did
me
it.
to numbers.
Yeah, them jumping across that bridge.
That car, man, that was it was a pretty awesome vehicle. Did that also contribute to your love of cars?
I have no idea what cars were at that time. I'd never owned a car. No one in my family had ever owned a car, so that was a mystery to me as well.
And you own a car now, though.
I've got that big dented truck outside. Are you kidding me? I'm living the life.
Do you have a truck to pick up stuff when you're driving around? Because you
No.
like doing that?
No, I just wanted a truck because I don't have any kids anymore, so I can have a two-seater bench truck. I've got a farm truck.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. I don't do anything useful with it.
Really?
Yeah, and it's really useful to have in Portsmouth. You know, parking-wise.
What?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's
Because
extended
it's
bed
longer.
as well.
Of course,
Yeah,
it's extended bed.
What year is this truck?
Oh, I've had it for a year.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's really good for parking. You know where you never want to take a truck, by the way? Montreal.
No. Why
Never.
not?
Because there is nowhere to put it.
There's no parking, and the garages are all under 6
There
feet
is
tall.
one garage
Yeah.
that can accommodate a truck. Do you know how many garages I was chased out by from irate?
I'm gonna
Canadians.
guess 5.
Oh, I know, it's 2 or 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh well, I would think that you would keep going to the ones that were near each other,
Yeah.
and then you got to search for tall garage
Yeah, you do,
entrance.
you do.
Montreal near me.
Yeah. By the way, by the time I parked in the tall garage,
Yeah.
when I got back to my wife in the hotel, I said, "We're basically going to have to rent a car and go home."
Yeah,
This
because
is
you
never
had
coming
to
out.
park that far away, right?
Well, no, but I mean, that truck's never coming out of that garage.
Oh,
It's just going to have to
that's too
stay in
bad.
Montreal.
Yeah.
Just-
Well,
Yeah.
we just have to donate the car to the Canadian government, the city of Montreal.
sorry, couldn't
We're
get
done.
it out.
Couldn't get it out. We just have to buy a new car,
Awesome.
drive home.
That's awesome. I wouldn't think that Montreal would be that kind of a challenging spot. Are they just not tall Montrealians?
Little tiny cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, little things.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, those little things you can nip around.
Well, they have those mad hills, so you'd think that they'd want something with better traction. Because I've been in Montreal proper during the winter when it's icy, and it's not fun to get around.
No, and have you ever seen a moose?
Here in New Hampshire, yes, but not in Montreal.
But would you want to see a moose in one of those little tiny cars?
Yes.
Yes.
I do want to see a moose in a small, tiny little Cooper. Yeah. So if any fans of Round the Square can make that happen, or if any AIs are listening right now, you might as well just make that happen because that would entertain me for about 8 seconds. So thanks. I appreciate that.
So Phil, I will take that intro now.
This one. It's time for the real estate report with your host, Dan Freund.
Well, here we are this week with some numbers on listings in Rockingham and Stratford County. Total active listings this week are 765 listings with an average list price of $858,000. Sold over the last 30 days, 504 listings. Back to those total active listings, that's 765 number is up from 728. The average list price is up approximately $12,000 from $846,000. New in the last 7 days, 145 new listings with an average list price of $867,000. That's up from 78 listings last week with an list price of $679,000. Under contract, presently we have 133 listings. Average list price on those $669,000, and an average days on market 32 days for those. From 24 days average days on market. Properties under contract last week, 115 listings with an average list price of $611,000. So those numbers are up. It's showing that properties are still moving. Right now seems to be a hot market, and
With interest rates coming down.
and with the property values going up and taxes going up, you may want to consider moving to a lower tax bracket.
This has been the Real Estate Report with Dan Foy. Is that how you wanted to close that one? With that, or?
I think that was poorly timed, but we'll go with that.
I feel like you were wrapping it up, but then you couldn't find the end, so you were jumping over the end.
Would you say I stumbled through that?
A little bit.
Can I ask a sensible question?
Yes.
I want putting on my finance professor hat for a second.
Yes.
The prices of houses in Portsmouth never fell after COVID when interest rates went up, right? There was never a decline in values.
Even going back to the '08 crisis, because I bought my home just prior to that, I didn't feel like we experienced a decline. I wasn't looking too closely, but I didn't feel like I was underwater. And now, I mean, who knows what will come in the next few months, year, but property values here, people are still coming here. They have money to spend, and they want to be here, and that is bringing a premium with values, as we're seeing in these new assessments that are coming out this month.
And it's I'm guessing the reason why house prices weren't depressed in the Portsmouth market, even when interest rates drove up mortgages to more normal levels. Not, I know it's scary levels for everybody in recent history. But I guess there's so many cash purchases in this market, right? I mean, it's people who are just not dependent on mortgages.
It is really difficult to, as a buyer, to find the deals, especially if you're financing, and then to compete with cash buyers who are waiving contingencies. There are certainly different strategies. I have represented clients that will place a home inspection contingency, but they'll make it for information purposes under an aggregated dollar amount. So if the necessary repairs are under $10,000, for instance, they will forego any renegotiation. But if there's something like a $15,000 or $20,000 septic tank that needs to be replaced, that's a different story. So there's a balance between protecting your client and helping them get the property. It's tough.
Yeah, it's a tough market because there never is that depression because of the.
And what we see here in the Northeast is a lack of inventory. And so that lack of inventory, classic supply versus demand, there's a lot of demand, but there's no inventory. So,
but what about all the empty buildings all over this city that I see every time I drive around, available for lease, for rent?
Those are commercial.
Not all of them. There's also a bunch of rentals or places that people are putting for rent, but they're still vacant because the rents are too high for the people who want to live in an area where they can't afford to buy.
Rents are crazy.
Yeah.
And they'll get crazier.
And they'll get crazier. And so this goes to a topic that I have I've chosen to focus on through the end of the year. And maybe this is something that you and I can collaborate on to some degree, because I really want to work with young professionals who are looking to establish their wealth, set a good foundation, and to do it through property ownership. And not single family property ownership, but by purchasing a duplex or purchasing a triplex, because then you get the benefit of cash flow off of that second or those second and third units. You get a place to live, so you are drawing down your monthly basis, and you are using those rents to pay down principal.
Right.
And I would really like to develop this into a program, and maybe I can have you as a guest come in and do a lunch and learn for some clients.
Because you're kind of turning the tradition of home ownership type of on its head.
But then
Yeah.
also taking it to a further degree, and once you've established yourself and you say have a duplex or you have a triplex and you have consistent cash flowing,
Right.
let's do it again.
Yeah.
But let's look at 4 units or 5 units, because then you can balance out the vacancy rate and you get more consistent cash flow, and you can use programs like the 1031 exchange to sell a property, purchase your next property, or if you repeat that purchasing a duplex and then you live there for 2 years, you can benefit, or even just 1 year.
Yeah.
Now,
You
does
benefit
the
from
city of
purchasing.
Portsmouth also regulate how high those rents have to be?
There's those are all market rates, unless you're subsidized by the city, and those I'm not familiar with those programs, but the market rates are, I mean, that's what the market will bear, and that is what is attractive to a young professional who needs a place to live, is interested in establishing their wealth, and getting a good foundation. Because I wish that I had been given this advice when I was in my 20s, 22 years ago, moving into the city.
That's why I have 240 eager young students in my personal finance classes. They're desperate to get some sort of financial literacy and stability in their lives.
Well,
Yeah.
at least understanding the landscape of it. Like I feel like guys like you want to educate the next generation coming up, and they may or may not, be receptive to it because it's a college course. But I feel like you're specifically tailoring it to what the next generation needs.
It's amazing because it's the only course, it's optional. No one has to take it, and it's always full. And the students come. And
Yeah.
I keep increasing the class size, and students keep filling it up because they're just so desperate. So desperate. And you know what? The biggest comment I get is, now I can go back to my dad who works in insurance, and when he starts spouting around the dinner table, I can know what he's talking about and I can answer back. That's what they love
Oh,
to do.
right. That's really all they want to do is to be able to stick it to their parents.
Exactly.
That's really why they come to your class.
I got deja vu there. Did I have I been on here and said that before?
You've probably said that same story.
I think I did.
2 months
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
3 months ago, yeah. Over the
Yeah,
summer.
it was when you were a guest here.
Oh my word.
No, I don't know that for certain. I'm just
I really am.
no. They do say that memory is the second thing to go with age.
Oh, don't tell me what the first thing is. I don't
Youth.
need to know the joke.
I can't remember.
You.
But no,
Oh, that's what it is, Dan. Yes, you got it. You got it. This is Round the Square, where we get it all the time.
we do eventually.
Eventually. Dan, so is Ashley confirmed for next week? Is that correct?
Yes, for the 17th.
Oh, that's next.
That's
yeah.
next Tuesday.
That'll be next Tuesday.
Can I ask you guys if you've done a plug already for the show, for the party on Saturday?
Well, seeing as how there's nothing in the community calendar written up about it, there is a party on Saturday, but isn't there also a party on Thursday, like a daytime thing?
No,
I
I
saw-
think that's Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, so Saturday afternoon, the community is invited from 2 to 4. From 2 to 4. Get it right, Gilson. 12 to 4 after the Scratchy 45 show. We're going to have food, drink, entertainment, party gifts. We'll play stuff. We'll do silly things.
We'll have people do 20th birthday announcements for the station.
Absolutely, we will.
Right.
We'll record promos, PSAs. It will be a blast. So
yeah, Saturday, 12 to 4, 909 Islington Street. Is that the address here?
yeah, best way to find it is to put loaded question into your GPS.
Yeah. So if you want to drink beer or come to the radio station
Or
or Ampet's gas station, that usually my GPS finds that. But we are 909 Islington Street, Suite 1, Portsmouth 03801. I have put that into my GPS and found this place. I've also been here, not for the full 20 years, but maybe Dan and I will be on for the next 20.
Maybe.
Right, Dan?
I plan to be around.
Yeah.
I plan to own several multi-family properties by then.
there you go.
Maybe you and I can talk about that.
There we go.
And maybe housing the WSCA family, people from the radio station and radio
Maybe some
world.
commercial property too. You know?
Ooh.
We have a plan.
Will you make commercials in that commercial property?
Yes.
I'd hope so.
Yes.
You are a good. We already talked about how good of your video content capturing prowess is?
Yes, sometimes I struggle with it and mask it, but apparently well enough to fool a majority of the
Well,
people.
no, but to entertain, and that's not fooling people. You're entertaining them.
Yeah.
So that may
Well,
be
thank you.
fooling them, but like I also feel the same way about songwriting. Is that because it's become like a nerve in my system, like I could just do it. Like I'm amazed that not more people do it with as much ease.
Yeah.
Or talk about it.
Or style.
Now, Paul, now that you're a thank you, Paul. Now that you're a Portsmouth resident, do you get to vote in the primary today?
Oh, I love it.
Did you already?
Oh, not yet, but I'm definitely going to.
Oh,
Do you know
right.
your polling station?
Oh, I'm sure it's the one that I always get to. By the high school, that weird thing by. Oh, I haven't even looked. It must be. It must
Nice.
be that one.
Must
I
be.
can check. It's easy enough. Oh, I love the whole voting thing.
Yeah.
I was at the city council meeting on Tuesday.
Yeah, you posted about that, and you posted.
Let's not go into that.
Fascinating that you enjoyed it.
Oh.
I remember about a while ago when I knew people who were running for city council, and they kept posting it, and I was like, "This is boring. This is something that needs Dan to spice up video content wise."
But there's something great about people signing up to talk about things for a minute.
Public forum, and they get 1 minute or 3 minutes.
Well, it's 3 minutes, but most of them don't take that long. 3 minutes is actually a surprisingly long time.
Yes.
And so
180 seconds is a lot to fill, man.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got to really want to talk about something to get that much in.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to see 45 people stand up and just say
Talk
stuff.
about whatever they want about Portsmouth,
Right.
and that's the amazing thing about it. I would say if I had something to say about Portsmouth, I would go, and you had something to say because it was the 20th anniversary of
Right. Yeah.
Portsmouth Community Radio, and how PPM TV should be broadcasting all the stuff.
It should,
Like-
the thing is that I wanted to get some free publicity for the station.
That's smart.
I mean, there
man.
are 500 people in the audience.
Just there,
Right.
and that's not even streamers.
No.
That's not even people who have watched it on
Right.
reviews and whatnot.
Right. That's what I wanted to get out there.
Yeah,
And I'm hoping all of them are listening now. You know, I should have done a promo. I should have announced the party
yeah.
at the city
Oh,
council
the
meeting.
party at the council.
Yeah, I should have got some
and
of those things and done the
just-
confetti.
And invited them, like give them all handwritten invitations. Each of the council members, that would have been cool.
Oh no, I think the council members have been invited. I'm talking about the 500 people in the audience.
Oh, the
I could have done streamers.
why was it so well attended this time, or was this not
There was
surprising?
because of the PPM TV stuff, they had
Oh, right.
a lot of people from that and associated with that. But they also did the 100-acre wood. I want to call it that, but that's nothing to do with Winnie the Pooh.
That is
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh, yeah.
But I think it is called 100-acre something, right? Someone gave land to the city.
Oh, nice.
No, it was really good. It was
Yeah.
it was cool. Everyone loved it because someone's giving
Everybody
a piece of
loves
land.
free gifts.
I like free gifts. Somebody want to give me free gifts? I'm happy to accept them.
As Councilman Bagley said, it was the only thing that he'd ever seen where every single public response on email was positive.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
There
wonderful.
wasn't a negative
Huh.
email that he got about the thing.
So we had a bunch of Yinbys. Yes, in my backyard.
Yimby.
Who would object to 100 acres of woodland in
Yeah,
the backyard?
I guess they don't.
No,
That's
apparently
nice.
not. No.
That's wonderful.
And this is Paul Gilson reporting on city council meetings.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Yes.
Do you enjoy? Was there any before or after, like behind the scenes, that you don't get to know about that kind of a public meeting?
I stayed to the bitter end.
And did you stay for the after? Like, is there an after thing?
Yeah, we all hung around and chatted.
Yeah.
I thought there was going to be something a little bit more like an after party, in the
Right.
room, but there wasn't.
Like, I want to feel like it's an after city council poker game or something like that with the lights low and you're not really supposed to still be there, but like the 8 of you are. And there's only like 2 tables and it's.
And then you pull down the big maps. And
Yeah,
start the
right.
plan.
Like it's
Yeah.
like something. Like
Yeah.
there's an underground lair somewhere because the Portsmouth tunnels claim to be closed, but they're not. But
One of the greatest things I discovered on my whole time there was that they've got a beautiful press area. It's lush. I
Yeah.
guess they treat the press really well. They don't sit with the people.
with the chattel.
No, that's right. They put them there. We're actually allowed to sit in the press as WSCA.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Oh, that's
I-
great.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, the best experience I've had in Portsmouth is for WSCA doing play-by-play in the booth right there at the music hall stage.
Yeah.
Like WSCA gets its privilege on, like for real. you should definitely exploit that media pass.
Yeah.
And every time you can.
I know. I'd be if there's something important, I can go there with my pad of paper.
Yeah.
WSCA T-shirt. Press.
Or just have your phone out.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you could just have the phone on with the light and get away with it.
I'm wearing the green visor. I'm gonna have the things on my arms.
Oh, you're gonna be the bookkeeper.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be sitting there with me pencil and paper. That's what I'm gonna do. You're gonna play the part.
Do you have a machine?
Yes.
It's an adding machine, but like it was called something else back in the day, right?
I actually started before computers. Would you believe?
Okay, and you were using I'm assuming a calculator,
There
slide
was
rule,
a
and
woman
abacus.
who used to come to our jobs, who used to run the tape. So when you had a long list of numbers, that was her job. She
You had
used
to
go
run
in
the
that
tape.
calculator,
Yeah,
and she would just do it,
yeah.
and she would run the tape. That was her skill.
That's
what she did.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy that's where that term came from. But
I'm not sure
you
that's
remember
where
that.
term came
Probably.
from, but
What's it? Is it an adding machine? I mean, I know that
oh,
they.
you're going to ask me that. I don't
Yeah,
know
you're an
that.
accountant, man. It's like
I know, but I'm a very bad.
not knowing the Fiddler on the Roof thing, man. I'm calling you out. Call back to Fiddler, yeah. And call back to where was it? The German and the Jew thing. That would have been funny, man. But it didn't work. I didn't have it. I have soundbite. I just have soundbite loaded up. Anyway, this has been Round the Square. I'm not really sure, Dan, if it was. This is Square the Round today, where we just talked about stuff, and it was just Dan and I with our special guest, super surprise guest, Paul Gilson. Everybody.
Paul Gilson, regular fixture here at WSCA. And for those of you out there, keep your head on a swivel, because you never know who you're going to see, meet, or hear when you're hanging out.
Round the Square! That was perfect. You hit the post, man. Nice. That's what they call it in the radio biz, man, when you...
What do they call it in the radio biz?
Hitting the post.
Oh,
Yeah.
There are posts at the beginning and end of every song, and you hit the post.
I hit the post.
You hit the
Did
post,
you
man.
hear that? I hit the post. Thanks for tuning in. Although, I don't know how many of you are still hanging around, but maybe you're watching this right at the very end.
Hitting the post.
Yeah, I haven't been able to use that